Paul gave some trustworthy sayings in verses 11 through 13. The benefits of a life built to last are certain. They are. They're certain. Paul makes 4 conditional statements in those verses 11 through 13. The first one is, if we die with him, we will also live with him. Who's the him? It's Jesus. It's Jesus. You know how we die with Jesus? That's a past tense thing. That's our conversion. When we're baptized, when we go into the water, what that symbolizes is our death to sin and our resurrection to walk in newness of life. So that's what we're doing. We're making a profession of faith when we're baptized, yes. And if we make that profession, if we're serious about it, here's what else will happen. We'll also live with him. And that's talking about not present, not past, but future. When Christ returns, faithful believers will have a future life in heaven because of what Jesus has done. And through our faith in him, we too can have the gift that he has, future life in heaven. But the second conditional statement talks about the present. If we endure hardship, and who hasn't? And who doesn't? We all do. We endure hardship. We have to. That's present tense. But if we'll endure hardship, we will reign with him. That's future, when he returns. And what Paul is promising is a victory for faithful believers when Christ returns. And he will. But the hazards of quitting are just as certain as the certainties are of the benefits of building a life that lasts. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 10, everyone who acknowledges me publicly here on earth, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But everyone who denies me here on earth, I will deny also before my Father in heaven. Those words of Jesus is what Paul is basing his third conditional statement on in the last half of verse 12. He says, if we deny Christ, he will deny us. You see, Paul now goes from promises to warnings. He goes from positive statements to negative statements. And he's not talking about a denial like the denial of Peter, something that was temporary. He was speaking about a denial like that of Judas, something that was permanent. That's the denial that we're speaking of here. And then in verse 13, we see the fourth conditional statement. If we are unfaithful, he remains faithful. You know, when you read that, you might want to make sure, read it again, because it don't sound like that's right. Seems like if we're going to be unfaithful, that God would be unfaithful. But no, God's Word says, God's reliable Word says that even when we are faithless, even when we don't live up to our professions of faith in Jesus, God remains true to His Word. Isn't that good? Isn't that good? That when we fail, because we all do, we all sin, fall short of the glory of God. We all do. But when we're not faithful to God, it magnifies the faithfulness of God. Even when we fail to live up to our commitment, God is always, always, always true to His Word. He's true to the promises that He's made. Well, the eternal question is today, do you want a life that is built to last? Well, Paul offers you the same insights that he offered to Timothy. A life built to last receives strength from the Lord. A life built to last retains its influence. A life built to last remains focused. A life built to last rests on God's Word. A life built to last refuses. Refuses. And like Timothy, we all need to heed the words of a dying saint. May we pray. Father, thank you for your word. Thank you for this wonderful, encouraging message from Paul to his protege, Timothy. And Father, help us. Help us as we try to serve you. Never quit. Help us to remember these 5 truths, these 5 insights of Paul. Father, thank you for it. In Jesus' name. We're offering our hymn of invitation now. If you want to make a decision public, now's the time to do that. You can come, and I'll greet you here at the front. We'll sing 2 verses. If no one comes, we'll leave them. Brother Tim, would you just dismiss us real quick?